Hello everyone, welcome to Karmic Palms. Today we're going to be discussing about people who are highly spiritual versus people who are highly superstitious. What happens to them, and where do you see these signs? There are many areas that you can see these signs, and but I'm going to just show you one or two so you get an idea of what it means. Okay, before we do, please subscribe. And if you want to get your palm analyzed, do WhatsApp us. It's in the description box. We've also started palmistry courses for professionals who want to get into palmistry. If there's something that interests you, do WhatsApp us. Now, where are these spiritual lines, spiritual signs? Let's talk about spirituality first. Now, spiritual lines, let me show you what are the benefits of spiritual lines. Spiritual lines are beneficial for people who want to a lot of people don't want to be born again. They want to get out of this rebirth, death, cycle. This karmic cycle of being born again, struggle, make your money, die again with nothing. They want to exit this circle of this rebirth and death. Now, where do you see these signs? Highly spiritual people, where do you see them? First area that you see here is the Jupiter mount. Okay, this is the area that you see. You will see lines like this. It's not Solomon's ring. I'm talking about spiritual lines. Okay, you will see lines like this. This is the first sign that you see that this person is going to be very, very highly spiritual. Okay, second thing what you see here is a star. If you see here, that's also a sign of spirituality. Sorry, I can't. Okay, star, triangle. When you see signs like this here, this indicates that this person has a very good capability or very good chance of reaching a higher stage in spirituality. Meaning that if a person like this will always be towards dharma, towards giving charity, doing a lot of things for the people in this lifetime. So what happens is, if the intentions are good, not just doing it for likes, not just doing it for social media, not doing it for show, out of his heart. See, when you do charity, your intention is very important. Okay, doing charity by just writing and going and bragging about it is not called charity. It's called bragging. So that has no merits. So you might as well burn that money. Okay. When merits count, when does your thing count, is when you do it out of intention. Intention is very important. Not for photo ops, not for likes, not for social media. When you do things like that, consider it to be nil. You will not get any effects out of that. Okay, so in spiritual thing, dharma, when you do, very importantly, your intention is very important. How are you doing it? Are you doing it from the heart? Are you really doing it from your heart? How are your intentions pure? That is when the effect will take place. Otherwise, it's irrelevant. You're just doing it for the sake of doing it. It will have no effects in your life. Okay. So when you see signs like this shows that very high chances of this person will do a lot of dharma, merits. So often people like this, what happens is when they're born in the next life, they're born in the higher realm. A higher realm means very close to reaching moksha, reaching enlightenment. Okay? Understanding consciousness. Things like that will start happening in your life, which is a very, very, very positive sign to have. Okay, so this is the first sign. Now, the second sign is what you see here is under your Saturn. It's called the Saturn ring. It'll be like this. Sorry, my drawing is pretty bad. Let me try to do. You'll see a perfect smiley here. Okay, it's the same again. Anyway, so this is how it looks like. Okay, it looked like a perfect smiley here, right under the Saturn finger. Now, this is something very, very, very lucky for people who don't want to be born, who want to give moksha in life. But often what happens is, many, I would say 99.5% of people misuse this. Because what happens is when you get a sign like this, guys, please keep in mind, things will start pulling you towards tantric, towards black magic, towards occult science, towards occult reading, studying, practicing, things like that. It will draw you automatically. People who have it, you will see automatically it will pull them. They will want a deeper meaning of things. They will want to understand things about spirituality, of things like that. But what happens is, often what happens is, people who get this, who get into it, okay, who get into this kind of thing, what happens is they start, when they get to a certain stage in life, they start seeing things, okay. If you're not aware of spiritual awakening and things like that, after a certain period of practice, you will start seeing entities, you will start seeing things in life. I don't want to get into that too much. I'm just explaining the base thing for you. They will start seeing things. So what happens is, these people start thinking, a lot of people get lost during that period of time. The path is supposed to be straight, but what happens is, the minute they come to a certain point here like this, the minute they see something here or feel something or they experience things, they can start moving objects and things like that. Immediately they start, the mind comes in again, the monkey mind comes in, and it takes a different diversion which goes towards black magic. Now some people do it for good, but black magic, there is no such thing as black or white, it's just raw energy. When people start getting into that, what happens is they start harming others. When you do that, immediately what happens is this, you will never get moksha in your life. Okay, which means you will never get enlightened, never again. Okay, maybe for the next 500 lifetimes, you will never be able to reach moksha when you start taking the wrong path because of monetary things, because of making money. Okay, you start misusing powers to get immediate financial, relief. So what they do is, I take money from you, I say I can make this person's life miserable. I can kill this person. I can do things that he'll get crippled, he'll get bedridden, or she'll get bedridden. I can do those things also. So what happens is, when they take that power, they start misusing it, and then they lose their way. So often what happens is, these people become tantrics, but only for name. You'll see them sitting around trying to do things, putting ash over their body, trying to do all sorts of nonsensical things, but it doesn't work. It's just talk, because it's taken away, it's snatched away from them, because they went the wrong way. Okay, so I'm just touching the base here, guys, so you understand. So this is the second sign. If you pursue, if you do these things, you will be able to reach a very high stage. You will not even be born again. Okay, so this is the second sign. Third sign, what you see here, is in the Ketu mount also. This is also a sign of moksha. Okay, this part here. If you see some auspicious signs, if you want to pursue spirituality, then you will become, there is very good chances of you reaching here. There are some signs that you see here. The fourth line is, if you see a sign like this, which comes from the moon mount like this, it curves and it goes towards your Mercury mount. Okay, now please don't get confused for the business line like this here. It's not. Okay, then you'll be sitting and doing the wrong things. This looks like this. It will come like this from here and it will go. This is a very, very rare sign. If you have this, a person who has this will always be able to see into the past, into the future, into the previous births, things like that. It's called the intuition line. If you have something like this, this also means you have very high chances of reaching enlightenment in one sitting, in one in this lifetime itself, you will be able to reach. Okay, so these are the signs of high spiritual intelligence, people who have signs like this. Now let's talk about fanatical. Let's talk about people who are superstitious, overly superstitious. When you see lines like this, okay, but the mind line will be all broken, either broken or it will be like, cuts, gaps, things like that. When you see signs like this, what happens is, these people get overly obsessive about small things, like do not cut hair on this day, do not go on this day, do not cook on this day, don't cut nails here, don't cut hair this time, cleaning the house 10 times a day. When you do things like that, Okay, it's not a positive sign, it's a negative sign. Being overly obsessive about things is not good. Anything overly obsessive, anything excess is not good. For example, say you eat sugar excessively, you get diabetes. You eat salt, you get blood pressure. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have too much alcohol, you die of liver failure. You have too much of smoke, then it causes something else. So overly obsessive. When you see mind cut like this, because their mind. I have been to religious places. Okay, when I sit quietly in a room of people who are thinking, I see people standing there shivering, trying to act as if something has come on them. You know, nonsensical things you will see. These are the people who are disturbed in mind. Okay, nothing to do with spirituality. They've just lost their way. So what happens is they think that doing things like this they will reach their goals in life. Okay, overly they start shivering as if there's something has come on them, and God is directly talking to this person. And they act very self-important during that period of time. It's like they become possessed. It's like instead of God they need an exorcist. People who need to come and remove ghosts from them. That's how they behave. This is all overly doing. Why? Because their mind is lost. Okay, if you talk to them, they will not be able to talk like normal people. You will see many of them in many religious places. You will see. I don't want to mention any religion here. I'm just giving you a line where I have experienced, where I have seen. But so things like this is not a good sign. So what happens is they become very, very obsessed with things, especially when it comes to spiritual. Good luck is this, if you buy this number is good, if you put a horseshoe outside is bad. Things like that. They waste their time so much on nonsensical things that they miss out on the clear light which is right in front of them. The light is right there which you can see. But what happens is you're clouded with so much of nonsense that you miss out on those signs in life. I hope you understand, guys. This was just a general analysis I wanted to share with you. Okay, and this is somewhere that you can see these signs. People who are overly, or in this spiritual lines, you'll see cuts. Okay, gaps here, cuts here, things like that. What happens is the mind will start playing games with you. Okay, you think that you're seeing entities. You think that this is all happening in your head. Okay, it's all happening in your head. Nobody else can see it. So what happens is somewhere there's a thin line between being sane and insane. These people will cross that line of becoming insane, of madness, which is not a good sign. Because what happens is you're training your mind to become madness. You really think that you're seeing things, but what happens is it's not there, because you haven't gone through the steps of life. Okay, everything goes through steps. Okay, there's step one, how you get started. There's step two, there's step three, there's step four. But what happens is these people will start from step one and they want to reach step 20. And they think they already made it in life. They keep doing what they're doing and they think that they will reach there. It's nonsense. Okay. I hope this helps. Please subscribe, and if you want to get your palm analyzed, do WhatsApp us. It's in the description box. Thank you so much. Stay blessed. Bye bye.